What is up, YouTube? Matt McKeever here. In today's video, we're going to catch up on your questions. So it's been a while since I really had the opportunity or the chance just to sit down, chat with you guys, and answer some fan and audience questions. So we recently did a post on Instagram where I'm going to be answering all the questions on that IG post. If you guys aren't following me on IG, you're doing it wrong. So it's at Matt McKeever85 because someone beat me to Matt McKeever. So go ahead, follow me on IG. It's where I get a lot more personal, but we wanted to bring a little bit of that personal from IG over to YouTube, so hence today's video. Let's dive into the questions. Question number one.
So this is from Family Fire Journey. Do you think Airbnb will survive or thrive after this crisis? Why or why not?
Yeah, the Airbnb question's a big one, and I'm getting hit up like every day in regards to what's going on with Airbnb. Is it the end of the world as we know it? So there's a few things that we need to understand first to parse out here. So one, what's going on with Airbnb today? Well, right now, based upon my understanding, it's very specific to your state, your province. So here in Ontario, Canada, our provincial leaders have came out with a mandate that have stated that Airbnb for travel purposes is deemed non-essential. So you're not supposed to be, doing Airbnb unless someone's been displaced because of the current pandemic, the emergency situation going on. So that certainly is drying up a lot of the demand for Airbnbs. Now, that being said, this is definitely a problems or profits moment. The way we're trying to adapt to that is reaching out to local nursing homes, hospitals, healthcare workers, providers, things of that nature, and finding out, do they know of anyone that's currently looking for or needing accommodations? If so, we're going to work with them and try and provide them our Airbnb at a discount, help us smooth our cash flow requirements, as well as hopefully providing an essential service to people working in the healthcare field in regards to what's going on right now during the pandemic. That being said, let's move on to the future. So moving on from the present to the future, Airbnb's future. Well, I do think that we're going to see a slight change at a minimum in the general population's behavior and consumption patterns. With that, I suspect that we'll see less travel. But in general, I think that the travel that's going to be impacted the most is international travel. So the real question becomes, do you think that it's going to impact you and your local market in regards to Airbnb? I don't think that Airbnb, the platform itself, is going to disappear, or the idea of, short-term accommodation rentals. I don't think that that's going anywhere. Now, that doesn't mean that Airbnb inherently will always be the big dog or the big player in this space, but I don't see why they would be dethroned just because of COVID-19. So I do think Airbnb here's to stay. But we as hosts, we may have to pivot our business model slightly, and we certainly want to get dialed in on the data. So just like even more so today than ever before, it's important you understand what's really going on in your market. So what I'd recommend is check out AirDNA if you've never done so before. Get dialed in on the data. Understand, is your occupancy rate in your market dropping? Is your average nightly stay dropping? If so, you need to be rolling with the punches. You need to be adapting to the new market realities going on in your local market. Real estate's all about location, location, location. So it's so geographic specific that I can't give a broad sweeping statement to say what Airbnb is doing across the globe, or even across North America, or even across Canada. So we need to get really dialed into what's going on in our local market. But this is a tough time for Airbnb hosts. I do sympathize with those of you that this was your primary business model. For myself, it still represented 10% or less of my total portfolio. So we've been able to weather the hit a bit more. We found that the last 2 weeks in March were pretty bad for bookings. A lot of bookings got canceled. A lot of people weren't traveling. Now that things are starting to stabilize a bit, we certainly aren't making the same income we were in the past, but we're doing enough to be able to cover our costs. I hope that you find yourself in a similar position if you're currently an Airbnb host. If you are struggling, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section down below, and I'll try and connect you with someone that can hopefully provide you some guidance or at least a sounding board.
So Jefferson_Ortiz asks, what's the best way to find motivated sellers virtually in Canada to wholesale?
Great question. Right now, everyone's trying to pivot their business model to virtual, and real estate is no exception. One great thing about real estate, in my opinion, is it's kind of an old school industry. So a lot of the dominant players in the space, they don't adapt to technology or innovation very well. And that creates unique opportunities for those of us that are, motivated, hungry, and are innovative. So when we're looking at trying to say, find motivated sellers online, obviously we can turn to the normal sources, right? Facebook Marketplace, Kijiji, even Realtor.ca, and look for high days on market. Another option is reaching out to your realtor and getting a list of expired listings in your local market. But beyond that, what can we do to try and find motivated sellers? Well, one of my favorite strategies and one of the most profitable strategies we implement here in Southwestern Ontario is direct marketing campaigns. So we send out letter campaigns. Those are kind of, the yellow note letters that you often hear about in wholesaling circles. We do handwritten letters and mail them out. We do thousands, if not tens of thousands of mailers every single month. And this is one of our primary drivers of opportunities, or our best source of private leads. Beyond that, I recommend networking. So start taking advantage of the fact that you're under quarantine and you don't have a lot to do. Go get a Zoom membership and start offering to network with everyone in those private Facebook groups. So find the local real estate investor private Facebook groups that are specific to your market or region. Here in London, Ontario, there's probably 3 or 4 of them already as well. I know in the GTA there's a ton. Join those groups and start connecting with other like-minded individuals. Your network is your net worth, so it's absolutely critical in these uncertain times, in these high volatility times, that we build out our network so that, one, we've got more connections, we've got more data points, we've got more sources to turn to, but also understand that those people can become some of your best sources for opportunities. So I personally really love cultivating a small army of bird dogs. So in fact, I would argue that even my social media following, to a slight degree, is an army of bird dogs. When a lot of you find private off-market deals and you're not sure what to do with it, you often send me DMs on IG or Facebook or LinkedIn, and those are interesting opportunities. Now, obviously, I can't review all of them, I can't get deep into all of them, but every now and then we do find an opportunity from that and we're able to partner with someone. So I encourage you guys to find your own army of bird dogs. That may be people, I guess, take a step back. Who are the people that you want as bird dogs? Well, you want people that are consistently seeing the types of properties that you're looking to buy. For me, that's often, if we're talking about our wholesale deals, small multifamily properties. So we're often reaching out to people like realtors, as well as people like exterminators. So think about it. What do exterminators do? They go to buildings that usually have problems, usually buildings with active infestations of things like cockroaches, bed bugs, fleas, lice, things of that nature. Again, they're seeing problem properties. They might be seeing that problem property at its peak problem. That may also be when that seller is at peak motivation. They're just sick of it. They've got enough going on in their life. They just want to throw up their hand, kind of move on. And that's when we as sophisticated real estate investors can step in and really craft a win-win opportunity for us and that private seller. So when looking at trying to find deals virtually, I think it really just comes down to us getting creative and making as many connections, as many touch points with our fellow investors and other real estate owners as possible.
Shia the Beautiful asks, how do you suggest we get all our beginners' knowledge?
Excellent question. So there's so much information out there on the internet for free, guys, that to me it's almost overwhelming. At this point in time, we've done over 600 videos. We're in fact approaching 650 videos. I don't even know the amount of time I've spent making YouTube videos, but I know that it has to be approaching 10,000 hours at this point in regards to the amount of hours spent editing, filming, reviewing, watching, all that stuff. So literally, that's just for me and my little channel, let alone the tens, hundreds, thousands of other social media influencers and content creators that are providing amazing content for real estate investors today. So I recommend you consume a lot of the free content I've created here. As well, if you're looking for more of a community that you can join and really get some accountability, I recommend you check out Cashflow Tribe Alpha. That's the community that myself and Ben, Humble CEO, that's the guy that I'm doing the Monday videos with. You guys have probably seen the Monday live shows that we're doing, the Data or Drama show. we got together and created this community for like-minded individuals, for real estate investors. I really encourage you guys to check it out. If you're interested, there's going to be a 14-day free trial in the video link down below. So check out the video description, click the link, sign up for your free 14-day trial. You know, binge all the content for the first 13 days. You decide that you can't afford it or you didn't like it, cancel your subscription, and you know, no harm, no foul. You're not going to hurt my feelings, and you can just move on. But I really encourage you guys, when you find yourself sitting at home, you know, it's either Netflix or invest in yourself. Do you know which one has a higher payoff?
Cashflow Tribe.
Hey YouTube, have you checked out Cashflow Tribe yet? It doesn't matter whether you're an experienced, seasoned investor or brand new to the game. I can probably predict if you're currently not having the level of success you want as a real estate investor, it's due to one thing. That one thing is you're not making enough offers, plain and simple. You need to be making more offers as a real estate investor if you want to hit those big, audacious goals that you're setting for yourself. So here's the deal. Cashflow Tribe, that's the community that myself and Ben were making together. And so Ben's actually so busy trying to provide value to you guys that he had to take off there. But here's the deal. Cashflow Tribe is really a one-of-a-kind community focused on results. That's the difference between us and everyone else. We want to get you guys those results. I'm tired of seeing people commenting on my YouTube channel for 2-3 years now, but they're not making offers. What's holding you back? I'm going to guess that it's either a lack of confidence or a lack of competence. And we cover both of those things in Cashflow Tribe. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make you guys a 14-day free trial offer. You can join Cashflow Tribe completely free, get it tested out. If you like it, great, stay and pay. If you don't, well, I hope you at least find one great idea that you can take away and use to start making more offers, gain more deals, and finally start making the money related to real estate investing that's probably why you're watching my YouTube channel. So let's do this, guys. Let's make 2020 your year.
Cashflow Tribe.
Cancel your subscription, and you know, no harm, no foul. You're not going to hurt my feelings, and you can just move on. But I really encourage you guys, when you find yourself sitting at home, you know, it's either Netflix or invest in yourself. Do you know which one has a higher payoff? It's investing in yourself. So invest in yourself, check out Cashflow Tribe Alpha, or just binge the 600 plus videos that are currently on my YouTube channel. I mean, if I thought that they were worthwhile enough to spend all my hard-earned time making them, hopefully you can see the value in watching them.
Sanam Skinner asks, how your portfolio is being affected by rent delays, mortgage deferrals, and what you will do differently post-pandemic. Thanks.
Great question. So right now, at the time of the shooting, we're right in the middle of April, so it's April 15th. I want to just give that date for a bit of perspective because, again, it's such a dynamic situation now, and there's so much uncertainty and volatility that you really do have to take things on a day-by-day or at least a week-by-week basis. As far as what the impact has been to my business so far, it's actually hasn't been that significant. So we didn't notice a higher amount of no pays or short pays in regards to our April 1st rent collection. So we had the same amount of rent collected in April as we would normally expect in March. Now, because of the volume or the size of my portfolio, I do have over 100 tenants, so it's quite normal for 5 to 10 of them to be behind or not able to pay or have to work out alternative arrangements. And we saw a similar amount here in April 2020. So right now, nothing too significant. But one of the ways my business model has changed is we're making sure that we're communicating with tenants more than we were in the past. So we're trying to reach out on a regular basis and make sure that we're both managing their expectations as well as ensuring that they're managing our expectations. So we're trying to see around corners. We're trying to see obstacles or problems that might be not in front of us today, but 1-2 weeks or 1 or 2 months out from now. As well, we've definitely had the government step in a big way and provide a certain flooring in regards to the different stimulus and support packages out there. So in Canada, we've got CERB, which is in essence providing most Canadians about $2,000 a month if they find themselves unemployed. Now, because of the price point and the exact business model I've implemented with my real estate investing, what that means is my average tenant, if they're going to spend, say, 40% of that CERB benefit, that essentially would go to their rent. And that's what Stats Canada shows us the average Canadian does anyway with their income. They spend about 30-40% of their income. So if my average apartment is priced around $1,000 a month for a 1-bedroom, well, that means that if they're on CERB, one individual would have to spend 50% of their CERB in order to cover their rent. Not ideal, but certainly capable of, especially during what would be considered to be a lower consumption cycle, because it's not like you can go out to the bars, you can't go out to restaurants. It's a little bit harder to consume actually today because so many businesses are shut down or slowed down. So in general, we haven't noticed a major impact, but the changes we are making are opening up communication with tenants as well as moving towards greater liquidity. So this is certainly a time where cash reserves or having a cash buffer as a business owner, whether you're in real estate or just a general entrepreneur running another business, cash is king in this environment. So certainly ensuring you have liquidity. We're making sure that we've got 3 to 4 months reserves for all of our businesses, all of our properties, to make sure we can weather any short-term hiccups, bumps, or delays. Because it's certainly the biggest frustration as an entrepreneur or real estate investor is knowing that you can make it through some sort of emergency or some sort of bad situation, but that you simply have a cash crunch that stops you from it. I've seen so many entrepreneurs back when I was a CPA, a chartered accountant, struggle with this because they weren't good at cash flow management. So cash flow management is more important today than ever before.
Isabel S. Bender asks, what is the best way to scale up your real estate portfolio? Say if you have only one property right now.
Scaling when it comes to real estate is absolutely critical if you're looking to move from a hobby to, say, truly a business or an enterprise. For me, when looking at scaling up my real estate, or the suggestions I give to most investors when they're looking at scaling their portfolio from, say, 1 or 2 properties into the dozens, is 1, we need to be very clear on our fundamentals and our numbers. You need an easy, fast way to analyze opportunities so you can quickly sort between the signal and the noise, because there's a lot of property out there for sale, but that doesn't mean that every property for sale is a good deal for us and our business model. So 1, get very clear on what your business model is and what fundamentals or rules of thumbs you can use to quickly sort through opportunities. The second one is having a clear path. So I find so many investors choose to get into real estate investing to get rich, or to make money, or to quit their job. But the problem with that is it's too generic. We need to get way more specific with our goals in order to make sure that we're on the right path. So the way I like to think of it is you need a big goal, like a 5 or a 10-year goal, and that's going to be your guiding North Star. That star is going to allow you to make sure that you're headed in the right direction. But that's not enough. We also need to reverse engineer that big 5-year goal into smaller milestones so that we can check in on ourselves and our progress to make sure that not only are we heading the right direction, but we're actually dialed in and making the most of all of our actions and efforts and energy. So once we've got that clear understanding of our business model, once we have a clear understanding of where we're headed and what milestones we need to hit, then we need to really surround ourselves with a powerful team of like-minded individuals. You need to build up your power team of experts. So you need a killer realtor. You need a killer financer. So whether that's a mortgage agent, a bank employee, oftentimes it's going to be multiple individuals. And then in addition to that, we need to make sure that we're building out a deal pipeline. So maybe that's made up of realtors, wholesalers, bird dogs, things of that nature. People that are consistently presenting us with great opportunities. We also need to build out our capital pipeline. So that's where the lenders, the banks, things of that nature come into play. And then finally, make sure that we've got a team capable of executing. So that's where your contractors, your property managers, and things of that nature come so critical. So when looking at really scaling up a business, the way I've done, or other investors you see on my YouTube channel, it's all about making sure you have the right people around you. Understand that you can only take the business so far as an individual. And in fact, if you're the only individual in your business, odds are you don't truly have a business, you've built yourself a job. It's once you can start outsourcing or insourcing by hiring employees that you know that you actually have a scalable, repeatable process where you can eventually extract yourself and it can just rinse and repeat by itself without a lot of your day-to-day input on the day-to-day management.
Mark Van asks, with what's going on around the world, is now the best or worst time to invest in real estate?
So right now, because there's so much going on in the market, there's a lot of people struggling to decide, should I act now or should I wait? The biggest question to me is, what are you waiting for? And so again, this often comes down to, what are your big goals and what are you trying to accomplish with real estate investing? For a lot of investors, the real struggle is they don't know where they're headed, so they can't judge whether the steps or actions they're taking fit within that goal. So if your goal is too fuzzy, if your goal is to get rich with real estate, I mean, how can we judge whether you should buy this property or that property? Whereas if your goal is to quit my job in 3 years and replace my day job income of $4,000 or $5,000 a month, well, that's something we can start getting dialed in on. Let's say that you want to stick with that $5,000 a month passive income goal. Well, now what we can do is reverse engineer that. For example, here in London, Ontario, I can consistently find rental properties that have a strong affordability perspective. So what that means is it's very easy for a large percentage of the population to be able to afford renting that property. And while I'm able to hit that price category in regards to my rental stock, I'm also able to generate on average about $200 a month passive cash flow per unit. So what that means is if my goal is to make $5,000 a month passively, well, I need 25 units at $200 cash flow per unit to hit that goal. Now I can really start getting dialed in on whether I should buy now or wait. If I can find a property that cash flows for $200 or more a month per unit, well, it makes sense for me to still go buy that property because it fits within my goals. Now, if properties start dropping in price, but rent stays stable, then in that case, if anything, my cash flow is just going to increase. So I may want to double down if prices do start eroding so that I can acquire more units at a more favorable cash flow rate and get to my goal faster or get to my goal with less units, but I still know exactly what my goal is. And so because of that, it's a lot easier for me to be very decisive when opportunities come up. One of the biggest struggles beginner investors or novice investors have is not knowing whether they should pull the trigger on that deal or that opportunity. And I understand why that is. It's because you don't have a clear picture of what you're trying to accomplish.
K.Chow asks, are you guys looking for investors to come in on the next apartment building purchase?
Great question. I get this question a lot. Am I looking for capital partners? Are we looking for money partners for some of the big deals we do? The answer is yes and no. The no part of that is no, we're not looking for the general public to invest with us in regards to the deals we do. The yes side of that is yes, we do look for friends and family to invest in our deals as well as accredited investors. So if you meet the definition of an accredited investor and you have a large pool of capital, you're looking to invest in real estate deals in the larger multifamily category, then certainly feel free to reach out to me. You can always send me an email. There's almost always an email address in the video description down below, or you can DM me on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, or just about anywhere social media is. So in general, we're not looking to solicit from the general public for funds, but if you are an accredited investor or if you're a personal friend or family member of mine, you certainly can get in on potential deals that we're looking at.
Krupa Ganon asks, would you hire outside of London, Ontario?
People are constantly looking to join our team, and one, thank you guys. That's a vote of confidence in everything I'm doing in the ecosystem and just kind of the creative culture we're trying to generate here. So one, I thank everyone that tries to join our team because it speaks volumes about the impact we're making. And I really am driven by impact. That being said, our primary operations are here in southwestern Ontario, and London is a natural base for that. So as we continue to grow and expand both our team and our presence, we may be looking to add team members outside of southwestern Ontario, but for now, we're still going to be primarily focused on anything on the west side of the GTA or further west. So we're not necessarily looking to expand to Ottawa, Quebec, Alberta, BC anytime soon, but we will be moving into the west side of the GTA before the end of the year. But we're going to have to wait and see how quarantine, self-isolation, and all that stuff works out. All right, guys, I'm gonna have to wrap up here because I got a call I gotta jump on, but I hope you enjoyed just this Q&A with the audience. If you guys did enjoy this, what I need you to do is smash that like button, hit the subscribe button if you're new to my channel, and otherwise, if you got a question you want answered on the next Q&A session, jump in the comment section down below and ask your question there, or pay attention on Instagram when we do our next post soliciting questions, and make sure you post on that IG post. Again, I really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this video. Hope you're staying safe, you're not getting infected, and until next time, remember, making money is a team sport. There's more than enough money in this world for us to all make it, but if you're not saving it, I mean, like, what's the point? Thanks, guys.